Today's MetroNews television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
Following Tuesday's flooding, Wednesday brought a break from the rain for many of us, but we're not done with flooding potential. A watch going into Friday may be extended with more heavy rain on the way. This builds in from the west through tonight. Then for our Friday, a widespread marginal to slight risk for excessive rainfall. Lingering marginal risk Saturday and Saturday night. That will be expanding across the eastern panhandle Sunday and Sunday night with a slight risk mainly over mountainous regions. Monday, drier air begins to edge into the region, but before that happens, we could still see some heavy downpours. Through Saturday night, Huntington, Charleston, Beckley, Elkins, these areas have that half of an inch to an inch with locally higher amounts. Meanwhile, Lewisburg, Parkersburg, northern and eastern panhandle, generally less than a half inch in that time frame. So through the evening and overnight hours, we will see some storms moving in with some heavy rain, but also these storms may be capable of some gusty winds for our Friday. That'll carry into the early afternoon, and then evening and overnight, additional storms into Saturday. FlySRW forecast, it starts at home. Chicago is dealing with some wet weather as we head through the weekend. Meanwhile, Charlotte feeling the heat, but generally quieter. Panhandle to panhandle forecast, looking north for mid to upper 60s overnight. May see some areas of fog settle in, low to mid 80s on Friday. No warmer than 83 for Moundsville. As we go east, mid to upper 60s. Then we'll see 85 for Martinsburg, Petersburg 84. Elkins 67 overnight, then 81 on Friday with Ripley seeing 85. We'll see mid 60s to low 70s over southern West Virginia. Then Friday's highs in low to upper 80s with Huntington pushing to 88. This stretch will be taking us through the weekend. Multiple rounds of rain that'll be heavy at times. A warm front pushes us to 92 for Charleston Sunday, but cooler into next week.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Five, three,
Red 57! Red 57! Hot, hot!
I don't believe what I just saw. Bill McKenzie hits a 38-yard field goal on the final play of the football game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
It is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
From the home of the state's land-grant institution, inside the Health Plan Studios, in the Dale B. Miller Building in Morgantown, it's time for the state's most listened to sports talk show. This is the CityNet Statewide Sportsline. CityNet, cybersecurity experts for the digital age. And now, across the state of West Virginia and beyond, Sportsline is on the air.
Hi, everyone, and good evening. We welcome you in to a Thursday edition of the CityNet Statewide Sportsline, August 13th, 2026. Brad and Greg with you. We're live in the Health Plan Studio, and we are glad you are with us. Text lines open, 304-8255, 304-304-TALK, 304. Love to hear from you. We'll get to your texts coming up a little bit later. We've got a packed show tonight. First, we say hello to Coach Hunter. Good evening, Greg.
Good evening, Brad. You get so much, you just need to hit the road and get away from me.
We are, if we weren't fully back over the last few days, I feel like tonight we're fully back.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean this. We've got some soccer to talk about.
Yeah.
The first athletic event of the season is just moments away over at Dick DeLess Soccer Stadium. Our Greg Carey is standing by. We'll get to him in just a few seconds with a preview of the women's soccer game coming up here in just a bit. We've got football to talk about, of course. We'll hear from two players tonight, DJ Epps, receiver, and Kamari Wilson, a safety. We talked about both of them, Greg, last night for a while. We'll hear from them, their own words, coming up in just a little bit. We also have some volleyball to talk about. A few weeks ago, West Virginia Volleyball picked up a big commitment with a familiar name, Leah Greeny, daughter of WVU head coach Jen Greeny, and assistant coach Burdette Greeny, said yes to the Mountaineers. And it was a big pickup, Coach Hunter. Like, that's not just the daughter of two of the coaches. She's the reigning Gatorade Player of the Year in the state. and led the Mohegans, your alma mater, to a world championship last year. So as good of a player as there is in this state, highly recruited. She said yes to WVU. Leah's going to be joining us here in just a bit to talk about that decision to stay home here in Morgantown. Text line's open, as I said, 304-8255-304. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll get into those all straight ahead on the CityNet statewide sports line. But first, let's head across town. Dick DeLess Soccer Stadium getting ready for the first athletic event of the year for WVU. Greg Carey is there. Greg, good evening to you. Welcome into the show. Set this one up for us.
Good evening, guys. Yes, as you kind of alluded to in your intro, it's the first athletic event of the year, obviously. It comes on a beautiful night in Morgantown, temperatures in the 80s, and probably going to be a little warm here as we close in within an hour of kickoff in West Virginia. Starting its 31st season of play as a varsity program against Dayton, a NCAA tournament team from a year ago that won the Atlantic 10. So if the Flyers are anything close to replicating what they did in 2025, this will certainly be a good measuring stick to start the year for the Mountaineers.
And Greg, West Virginia has high expectations themselves. They start off with a difficult match against Dayton, followed by Penn State. So we'll know real quickly how good West Virginia is. But Nikki Izzo-Brown looks like she has another solid squad, as she so often has in her 3 decades plus leading this program.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a decent bit, if not a little bit more maybe, of production to replace from last year, but there's also several key contributors and proven players at this level that are back in the fold for West Virginia. As you mentioned, there's third in the Big 12 preseason poll, a national ranking of 20 to start the season. So certainly, most times we've talked about here in the last really 2 decades, Nikki Izzo-Brown's program expects to be in the NCAA tournament. I don't think that's much, if any, different going into 2026.
Yeah, certainly testing themselves, though, as you said, with a good Dayton team and then Penn State right out of the gate. How about on the field, some names we're watching not only tonight, but as we move throughout this season for WVU?
Yeah, like I said earlier, there's a good bit to replace, but they also do return several key contributors. Anna Hauer is one, and this is a team in West Virginia, in addition to Hauer, that had 2 other picks on the Big 12 all-preseason team, another one being defender Naomi Ingleton, and the last being goalkeeper Bailey Herforth. And a year ago, Herforth had 9 shutouts. She gave up less than 1 goal per game. West Virginia was exceptional defensively, and even in some of the matches it wasn't able to win, they were able to generate points by getting ties because largely on the strength of their defense, very rarely giving up multiple goals, which allowed them to essentially be in every contest. You would expect that to, again, be a desired formula for Nikki Izzo-Brown's team, but they're also going to have to find a little bit of scoring punch because they lost Taylor White, who was easily their top offensive player by standards of production last year in both goals and assists.
So, Greg, you still have 49 minutes until this game begins, but any idea of crowd? Students are not started into classes yet. That happens next Tuesday. Move-in day is beginning, though, and as you said, it's a really nice evening, very warm. So what kind of crowd they having at Dick DeLess?
Yeah, well, it's starting to. There's a few people that have made their way in. Like I said, it's a beautiful weather night, but as you said, with school not starting yet, you wouldn't expect much in the way of a student turnout. But you would hope with the weather that they'll draw a few more people out, perhaps, and obviously the quality of opponent, as you mentioned, which is a good test early in the season for West Virginia, and they're going to have to do a good job protecting this home field because 6 of their first 8 matches come here at Dick DeLess Stadium.
All right, where are you standing right now? Where in the stadium are you?
I am right by the entrance, right where I just picked up my credential about 5 minutes before you called.
All right, so you might have an obscured view there, but as you look back at the parking lot's starting to fill up there as you project that crowd out. Are they still waiting to get in there?
Yeah, there's definitely a good bit of cars that are taking up those first 2 levels of rows, and actually a decent bit of people that are utilizing the track there right between the Coliseum and the soccer stadium. So, as you mentioned, the temperatures being what they are, you would expect to have a pretty solid turnout.
Yeah, tailgating time too, right?
Well, finally, the sun finally popped through in Morgantown here. It's been raining for like 6 straight days. Right. So yeah, Greg, we got a great night out there, and you'll get some get some people out there.
Football, soccer, they start weather's beautiful. We talk about it's hot, they can handle. Then you end up at the end of the season, it's like snow, miserable. Both of them or all of them. It's the same type of deal that you're going to have. By the time it's November, you're going to wish for those 80-degree days.
Oh, there's no doubt. And, I've seen plenty of games here when it's been, basically scarf and winter jacket weather. So you don't expect me to hear me complaining about any soccer games being played in the 80s because I know what's coming in about 8 weeks.
That's a great point. You take the sun and the 80 and you run with it. All right, my friend, we'll let you run. Thanks for joining us for a few minutes. We'll look for your recap coming up a little bit later at WVMetroNews.com. Thanks, Greg.
I appreciate it. You guys have a good night.
All right, see ya. There he is, Greg Carey, checking in from across town. Dick DeLess Soccer Stadium. As we've said, the summer has gone fast. If it wasn't over already, it's over now, Greg. First athletic event underway.
Exactly. Women start a week ahead of the men, so the men will get underway next Thursday with the regular season. They've already had some exhibition games as well. They're going to be highly thought of also this year. I know they were picked to win the Sun Belt, their league. So both soccer squads look like they at least enter the season with huge expectations.
Well, that's what I was going to talk about that later, but let's do it now. You're right. Men's soccer picked to win this, or picked as the preseason favorite in the Sun Belt. Some individual honors as well. Pablo Pozos named the preseason Offensive Player of the Year, picking up where Marcus Caldera left off last year. And then Pozos, who was first team all-league last year, projected, picked to be on the first team this year, along with Isaac Shear and Nacho Martinez, which I love that. There has got to be a good promotion coming around Nacho Martinez. He was second team last year for WVU, predicted or picked for first team this year.
You know some people in the marketing department over there. I bet you could make some suggestions.
I think that's a slam dunk. I don't know that they need me calling over saying, "Hey, can you do a Nacho promotion with Nacho Martinez?" I think they can figure that one out. But we'll be looking for that. That'd be a great one. Text line's open, 304-TALK-304. If you'd like to weigh in, take a break now. When we come back, let's talk a little volleyball. West Virginia picked up a big commit. Gatorade Player of the Year last year. Leah Greeny is staying home. We'll talk to her next on the CityNet Statewide Sportsline.
Answering a text or phone call while driving. Seems pretty harmless, right? But in the 5 seconds you took your eyes off the road to respond, you missed the girl riding her bike across the street. You missed the dog who darted into the road. And you missed the stop sign. And while it was just a ticket this time, it could have been worse. In fact, more than 700 people are injured in distracted driving crashes each day. Keep yourself and others safe. Don't drive distracted. Just drive. This message was brought to you by the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Hey, this is Brad Howe for your local internet provider, CityNet. Fiber is now at your front door and even in rural areas and communities across West Virginia. Thanks to broadband expansion funding, your tax dollars helped make it possible. And CityNet turned that investment into real connections for local families and businesses. Now, you can get blazing fast fiber internet with free installation, free equipment, no long-term contract, and local customer support that's always close to home. Don't settle for slow or no internet for another day. When it's high-speed internet you need, CityNet.net connects, protects, and perfects.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet Statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
Football season begins right here on MetroNews Television. Join us Thursday, August 27th for the 2026 WVSSAC kickoff game, presented by the Army National Guard. The Cameron Dragons battle the Clay Battelle Seabees live from Blacksville. Don't miss the first kickoff of the new season, the 2026 WVSSAC kickoff game, Thursday, August 27th at 7 p.m. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30 p.m. Powered by GoMart, only on Metro News Television.
Across West Virginia, connection begins with fast, reliable fiber internet. Connecting overlooked communities to what matters most. Protecting businesses with managed IT and advanced cybersecurity, backed by local experts. Perfecting technology experiences while investing in West Virginia's future. CityNet, built and supported by West Virginians, for West Virginia.
Need a truck that's ready for work, weekends, and everything in between? Right now at Dan Cava GMC, get up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierra 1500, or save up to $4,000 off all new GMC Canyon Elevations, offering bold styles, advanced technology, and everyday practicality. Come explore our all-new GMC Yukons, built for busy families and big adventures. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop Thorold.
I had a severe heart attack in November of 2024. And then I entered into congestive heart failure.
We really had to go towards an LVAD. And not only is he living, he's thriving.
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discover tailored suits you'll only find in store at Daniel's.
glad you said that, because I wouldn't.
High-speed fiber internet is probably at your front door, and now's the time to connect. More rural communities in West Virginia can finally get the high-speed internet they deserve. Whether you're streaming, working, gaming, or running your business, CityNet delivers the speed and reliability you need. CityNet connects, protects, and perfects. Got football to get into coming up here in just a bit. We'll hear from DJ Epps, Kamari Wilson, your texts right around the corner as well. But first, let's talk a little volleyball. And Greg, as I said in the opening there, the reigning Gatorade High School Player of the Year in the state is Leah Greeny. And she made news a few weeks ago by giving her verbal commitment to West Virginia, which is big in and of itself, right?
Sure.
You get the Gatorade Player of the Year here to stay home. That's huge news. But you tie in that both of her parents are on the WVU staff, head coach Jen Greeny, associate head coach Burdette Greeny, and this makes it a really fun story to talk about. Let's get into it and find out what led to the decision for Leah to stay home as she joins us now on the CityNet statewide Sportsline. Leah, congratulations. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
All right, is it true that we've had to get you out of practice for this interview? Are you missing drills right now?
We just started a little bit of warm-up drills, but haven't missed that much so far.
Okay. Well, we'll keep you quickly here. We don't want you to miss too much as the season is right around the corner. But let's start with what we're talking about there, and that you had a bunch of options, and you were surely going to get more as you move throughout your junior season this season in terms of where you could have gone to play volleyball. You had your pick of schools, and you decide to make your future home the same as what your current home is. You decided to stay home and go to West Virginia. What was your reasoning there?
I think just kind of being here for a couple years and seeing how the whole state supports this school, and obviously the incoming in my class, people who are already committed, I've met them and talked with them, and I think they were such a big part of my decision. But I can just really feel how close everybody is, and it just feels like a really big family. And I think some schools don't get the opportunity to have that. And so, yeah.
So, Leah, I mean, you're just going to be a junior, so this is still a little bit early in the recruiting cycle. Did you want to get this decision done this quickly, or did it just happen that way?
Definitely, volleyball recruiting, if you're good, you're probably going to commit pretty fast. But I wanted to take as much time as I could and just make sure that it's definitely the right place I want to go. And I just wanted to make sure that it felt like the perfect decision and that I'm 100% all in my decision.
We're talking with Leah Greeny, Gatorade State Player of the Year and a member of the world champion Morgantown Mohegans. Yep. Coach Hunter won the whole thing last year. All right, Leah, let's talk about your family here, because this is fascinating. I'm sure most people listening have some of this background, but I'm not sure they know everything. So let's roll through some of these athletic accomplishments with your family. Your dad was a former professional baseball player, now one of the top volleyball assistants in the country here at WVU. Your mom, not only a great volleyball player and the head coach at WVU, the all-time leading scorer in high school basketball in the state of Washington, Coach Hunter. For 24 years, she held that record, boys or girls. So Jen could hoop a little bit, too. You've got a sister that's a successful collegiate golfer, and then, of course, you're an elite volleyball player. That's an unreal family lineup there of athletes. Take us back to when you were little. What's your earliest memory of sports, and which sport was it? What was in your hands when you first started to get the itch?
I mean, growing up, both me and my sister played as many sports as we could. I think that's super important to just grow in every sport. Every sport kind of has their own mechanics, but playing lots of sports, it just helps become a good athlete. And so I played soccer, baseball, obviously volleyball, and I ran some track. But I definitely being around volleyball my whole life. I kind of just went to every game, watched every game. I kind of didn't understand it fully, but we moved here to Morgantown, and I started to play at a super high level, and I kind of start to understand like what it takes to be a great athlete. And I think it's just like I've always loved like to compete and be in a sport. So
Leah, I mean, some kids, you know, and it doesn't have to be athletics, but whatever their parents did or do, it's like, you know, I don't want to follow in that path. I want to do something else, you know. Wife's a teacher. I'm not going to be a teacher. There's no way, if that's your kid. So was there ever any moment for you that said, you know what, I don't think I want to do this volleyball thing. I've done it all the time. Or was it just so easy for you to follow in that path?
When I was like super little, I didn't want to play sports at all, actually. But I think my parents, like, seeing how important it is to play sports. I mean, obviously they kept me playing all those sports, and I am like very appreciative of that. So, but I definitely like. They're like, what's wrong with you? Like, why aren't you as competitive as us? But I definitely have grown to be super competitive. So
Came along. That's very good. Well, that's what I was going to ask you next. Obviously, you were blessed with great height and athleticism, so it makes a lot of sense that you found your way into the sports world. So that's what I was going to ask next. So it was about the competitiveness, not only you, but your sister, the whole family. Do you guys compete in everything? How is it at home on the competitive side?
It's always competitive. Like, it could be a board game, card games, like, we're always getting into it, like, so it's very competitive in our household.
Okay, two-part question. Who's the worst loser in the family? Who takes it the worst? And who talks the most trash?
I think my sister takes it the worst. She hates losing. Like, she would put her whole body on the line and she does not like to lose. But I think my dad likes to push some buttons, especially my mom. She'll get super irritated and he'll be saying whatever he likes to say. But yeah, he likes to talk trash.
Okay, very good.
So as Brad explained, and most people probably know, your mom was a longtime coach, volleyball coach at Washington State. So you grew up
highly successful.
Yeah, highly successful. So you grew up out there for most of your life until a couple of years ago, moving to Morgantown. That's a huge transition for a kid. Was it difficult? You obviously must have enjoyed it because you're going to stick around for a while longer. So what was that move like for you?
Actually, it was pretty easy. I think the people here are super welcoming. And so I found it was super easy to make friends and like kind of figure out my place. And also in Washington, it's like obviously a super small town. So there like wasn't much to do and not much as a competitive environment. So I think moving here was a great idea, and honestly, I love it here.
We mentioned that you won the state championship last year. Morgantown High did. Give us a scouting report on your team this year as you're just getting underway with practice, but the season first game is going to be coming up here soon. Give us a scouting report of your team so far this year.
We have our returner, middle Abby. She's a big part of our team as a middle.
Now, would that be Abby Paulson?
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. Coach on her. Abby Paulson, one of the greats. Okay, go ahead, Leah.
And then we have our libero, Audrey Tompkins. Her defense, she's all over. So she's also a very big part. But we have a couple of like incoming freshmen and a transfer, and I think they like losing Paige Brink, obviously, and Kelly Ryan, it's pretty big loss, but I think getting some new players like in our gym, I think it'll make a very big difference. And I think we'll be pretty good this year.
So volleyball has a huge travel season, in the spring and summer. So where has travel volleyball taken you this off season?
Or maybe ask her where it hasn't taken her.
We've been kind of all over. We went to Chicago and Kansas City, and then down to Florida for AAUs. But I think being able to see like how competitive it is, like all over the country, teams from different states. Like I think it's just seeing how competitive it is, and I think it just pushes you to like want to be the best in the country.
All right, here's a question on a personal level. So I always have to work really hard, Leah, to get my two daughters to listen to the advice I try and give them or the things I try and teach them. I've coached them before as well with varying degrees of success of them listening. So you're good at listening when your mom and dad tell you something, you're locked in, you follow that advice and know they know what they're talking about?
I definitely try to. I mean, they certainly know what they're talking about, and like watching them coach all my life, I think it just helps me understand them more and like see that they want to make me the best player and person that I can be. So I definitely listen to them.
See, that's a veteran answer right there, Coach Hunter. She nailed that. Good job, Leah.
Oh, absolutely. So what's it going to, I mean, I'm sure they've given you advice, maybe a little bit of coaching so far, but what's it going to be like to actually have them as, you know, the head coach, associate head coach, once you get it to the college level? Have you thought about that? Is that going to be difficult for you?
I think it'll be a little difficult, but my dad and I have talked about this during my recruiting process. He treated me like any other player he was recruiting, and so we had a call, and it was like the same as everybody else. So I think we're really going to try to make sure that there's no favoritism. If anything, they'll probably be a little bit harder on me because they know I can take it. But I mean, I'm going to be treated like any other player on their roster. So.
Well, we'll let you run. It was great catching up with you. I think this is just a really cool, fantastic story. I think it's going to be wonderful once you finish out your last couple of years here in high school and get to be with your parents there at the WVU program. So we certainly wish you the best. Certainly this upcoming season, we're following you, we're watching you, we're rooting for you, and we'll do this again soon. But we appreciate you taking some time away from practice to join us. So thank you very much.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much.
All right, there's Leah Greeny, reigning Gatorade Player of the Year, new commitment to the West Virginia Volleyball program, who kicks its season off here, less than 24 hours from now?
Oh, yeah. So
Golden Blue scrimmage coming up tomorrow at the Coliseum.
Tomorrow at 5 at the Coliseum for anyone who wants to take it in.
Go watch Leah's mom and dad coach down on the court.
I wonder if one takes the blue, one takes the gold.
We'll have to see.
Split that up.
Yeah,
So
looking forward to. If you remember back last year, WVU started just so tremendously well. School record number of wins to start the season. So Jen Greeny building that program back up and certainly getting Leah's commitment's a big help in moving that forward. Yeah,
the recruiting circuit. Wow.
Yeah, that's not like, hey, my parents are coaching, I'm going to get a scholarship here.
Yeah.
As we said, you're not the state player of the year without being really talented. Has it all: size, talent, athleticism, and is a really good pickup for WVU. All right, thanks to Leah. Break to take. When we come back, let's turn our attention to football. DJ Epps, Kamari Wilson sound straight ahead on the CityNet statewide Sportsline.
Answering a text or phone call while driving. Seems pretty harmless, right? But in the 5 seconds you took your eyes off the road to respond, you missed the girl riding her bike across the street. You missed the dog who darted into the road. And you missed the stop sign. And while it was just a ticket this time, it could have been worse. In fact, more than 700 people are injured in distracted driving crashes each day. Keep yourself and others safe. Don't drive distracted. Just drive. This message was brought to you by the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
This boating season, elevate your family time with Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Proudly family-owned for over 40 years, Lou and his sons are West Virginia's largest Avalon pontoon dealer. Trusted experts in premium boats, motors, and service. Discover refined comfort, elegant design, and performance you can feel. Now is the perfect time to take advantage of preseason savings. At Lou Wendell Marine Sales, they don't just sell boats. They sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com because the weekend's almost here.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
It's good to have options for your family or employees. Rooted in your community since 1979, the health plan is your trusted partner. Get flexible coverage, exceptional support, and competitive rates.
The health plan, we are here for you.
Live From the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide sports line returns in 2 minutes on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
Following Tuesday's flooding, Wednesday brought a break from the rain for many of us, but we're not done with flooding potential. A watch going into Friday may be extended with more heavy rain on the way. This builds in from the west through tonight. Then for our Friday, a widespread marginal to slight risk for excessive rainfall. Lingering marginal risk Saturday and Saturday night. That will be expanding across the eastern panhandle Sunday and Sunday night with a slight risk mainly over mountainous regions. Monday, drier air begins to edge into the region, but before that happens, we could still see some heavy downpours. Through Saturday night, Huntington, Charleston, Beckley, Elkins, these areas have that half of an inch to an inch with locally higher amounts. Meanwhile, Lewisburg, Parkersburg, northern and eastern panhandle, generally less than a half inch in that time frame. So through the evening and overnight hours, we will see some storms moving in with some heavy rain, but also these storms may be capable of some gusty winds for our Friday. That'll carry into the early afternoon, and then evening and overnight, additional storms into Saturday. FlyStar W forecast, it starts at home. Chicago is dealing with some wet weather as we head through the weekend. Meanwhile, Charlotte feeling the heat, but generally quieter. Panhandle to panhandle forecast, looking north for mid to upper 60s overnight. May see some areas of fog settle in, low to mid 80s on Friday. No warmer than 83 for Moundsville. As we go east, mid to upper 60s. Then we'll see 85 for Martinsburg, Petersburg 84. Elkins 67 overnight, then 81 on Friday with Ripley seeing 85. We'll see mid 60s to low 70s over southern West Virginia. Then Friday's highs in low to upper 80s with Huntington pushing to 88. This stretch will be taking us through the weekend. Multiple rounds of rain that'll be heavy at times. A warm front pushes us to 92 for Charleston Sunday, but cooler into next week.
Welcome back in. CityNet statewide sports line continues. Brad and Greg with you, and we're live in our health plan studio, where since 1979, the health plan is called West Virginia home. From humble beginnings, they've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming a part of its fabric. For over 4 decades, they've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving West Virginia for over 40 years, the health plan. Text coming in 304-8255-304. We'll get into those here in just a minute, but let's get into some West Virginia football. Talked yesterday, Greg, we talked a lot about these two players, knowing we had some sound coming from them tonight, but two guys that, again, I don't want to be like one of those March Madness prognosticators where you have a field of 68 and you have 87 teams that you're saying deserve to be in. So I don't know where we are in our top 10. I don't know if we have 32 guys in our most important top 10. Where do you slot these two? Take them both in totality. Epps, who we've is a proven playmaker from the group of 5 level at Troy. Kamari Wilson, who we talked about, who started as a freshman, played a lot as a true freshman at Florida, was started at Memphis, highly productive player. Do you slot them? Are they in your top 10? Let me start there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Kamari Wilson may be, and again, a lot of it's maybe at this point, right?
Sure.
He may be your most important defensive player.
Ooh, Coach
because again, I think he's got experience. I mean, he was a 4-star recruit coming out of IMG Academy in Florida. Like I said, started games as a true freshman at Florida. He's one of those guys that's both experienced and highly talented. And if you look at him, I mean, he looks apart. Listen, at 6 foot, but he looks like he's about 6'2" or 6'3", 200 and about 10 pounds. Just built like a prototypical what you want. I think he's incredibly important on the Mountaineer defensive side, and I may make him as important as anybody over there. And then Epps, I think, is really important. We talk a lot about Jaden Bray, but Epps may end up being West Virginia's leading pass catcher in terms of numbers, just because of that slot position. I could see them just throwing him 50 passes over the course of the year. He and Bray, that combination, are going to be really important. I think Epps is vital to the offense, but there's some other weapons there. I think Wilson is a guy that this defense really needs him to be as good as you think.
All right. Fair enough. Yeah, I think fair on both of those points. Let's start with Wilson first, and then we'll get into Epps. So here's Kamari Wilson, and he was asked, I think you asked him this, just scout himself. What's his game like? Here's Kamari talking about what he brings to the table.
I would say I'm a very competitive person when it comes to, coverage, zones, mans, reading the block, reading the run, reading the formations. I would say I'm good at a lot of different things, which you guys will see this year. I don't want to really spill too much. I just want to let my work show.
Smart guy there too. Didn't want to give you too much. Plus, I liked his interview style. You can tell he's an intelligent dude, but smiley.
Yeah,
I like the guys that come out and smile. It's not a deposition, right? Come out and smile. Kamari was very good. All right, next question. Asked about the Zach Alley system. There's been so much discussion, even from Rich Rodriguez, how I don't know if complex is the right word, although that's how the question was phrased, but it's just multiple. There's a lot of things going on in a Zach Alley defense. Kamari's been around. He's played a lot of football. He was asked about that, about playing in the Zach Alley system and how complex it is.
I wouldn't say it's over and exaggerated. To be a football player, especially in the back end, you have to be some type of smart, I would say. It's complex for the offense because you don't know what we're in. But for the players-wise, it's not complex. Like I said, it's a standard here. And everyone here, we got good people. Everyone here lives by that standard. And the standard is the standard at the end of the day. If we have calls, we have to study. We're going to study them calls and execute them calls.
I thought that was a great answer, right? Great answer. Yep. Complicated for the offense. They don't know what we're doing. Talk about good people, and then just you better figure it out. I mean, that's your defense. You better figure it out.
Yeah, and again, you've got experienced guys on that back end. We know Matt Sieg is a true freshman who likely plays a ton for you, but then you got Podrell and Latimer, who each have played a ton of games. I added it up today between Podrell, Latimer, and Wilson. You've got 119 college football games played. Each have played at least 39 games in their careers. So they got a ton of experience, and it's important. And again, we know how important pass rushers are, but outside of that, in the college level, I think coaches will tell you good safety play is paramount as anything else you're going to get.
Yeah, that's a good point. And you're searching for playmakers on the defensive side, right? And I think you just named a bunch of them right there, and that might be your guys that lead you. And we've said, I think you and I agree, we feel the best about that position group of any on the defense, and quite frankly, it's probably not even close, but the safeties really have some experience. All right, here's the last one. I thought this was an interesting line of questioning and something to think about is, as he played at Memphis last year in that American Conference, that's a diverse group of teams.
Yeah.
Right? Not only geography-wise, that's a diverse group of offenses. So he talked a little bit about that, about playing in that league with all of those different kinds of offenses.
It's not the same week to week. And the tempo, it was a lot of tempo teams as well. And it just had to make me adjust a little bit. Like Navy, I played DN, which was crazy for me because I had to, literally, they motion every time. And it's like, it teaches you how to do your 111 because if one person's out there spot, touchdown, literally. And it's such a fast pace. So coming here and going against our offense, which was the number one fastest offense in the country last year, I'm kind of used to it, and it helps us for our opponents because we moving so fast and we're conditioned because it's really conditioning. So when we play in fourth quarter or the third quarter, everyone's tired, but we still running and hitting,
We still running and hitting. I thought that was interesting. I'm glad we got that part in where he talked about he had to play DN against Navy, and then he's mentioned there to do your 111. So that's another way to just say do your job. Right? Don't try and run all over and get out of position. You do what you're supposed to do. But again, really intelligent kid, obviously a playmaker, expecting a lot out of him. But I thought that was kind of a fun, interesting line of questioning that I hadn't necessarily thought about the diversity of those offenses.
Yeah, because we don't, West Virginia isn't part of the American and, it played Memphis just a couple years ago in a bowl game. But still, you don't think of what that league is. But you go from teams that'll throw it 45 times a game, Florida Atlantic and some of those, to Army and Navy and even a Rice that run it barely Yeah, I mean, they'll throw it barely 10 times a game. So you got as much diversity there. And again, for a defensive back, that's great experience to learn everything because you see it all over the course of the year.
Yeah. Well, Kamari Wilson, number 8, that's going to be a fun guy to watch. We heard from, who mentioned him the other day? Was that Nate Gabriel? Yeah, when he was asked.
What kind of leader he was.
Yeah, asked about who the vocal leaders were, and he mentioned a couple guys, Ben Cutter, of course, but he said number 8 specifically. Mm-hmm. Number 8, Kamari Wilson, the vocal leader at this point. All right, flip over to the other side of the ball. DJ Epps, who we've talked a bunch about, is going to be in the slot and a guy that's expected to be a playmaker. So let's hear from DJ on what he does well.
I think I do a lot of things well, just play good at different positions. I can catch the ball, I can block, I can return kicks, punts. So basically can do it all.
Let's talk about that part of it, not just the slot receiver part, but returning of kicks. And I think we agree that gives you a chance to be a playmaker on the punt side. If you get the chance to return some punts, Preston Fox was very good at this over the last few years. You need to replace that. Could be DJ Epps. How about embracing the role as a punt returner?
Obviously, I just try to help the team in different ways as possible. Wherever the coaches need me, that's what I'm going to go do and try to do my best at it.
And we talk about leaders in the receiver room. Jaden Bray certainly comes to mind, a guy that's not only played a lot of college football, been around college football for a long time, but he's been in this program here at West Virginia for a while. What's DJ take or learn from Jaden Bray?
He's a special player, man. He's always trying to give me tips, and I learn from him a lot, and he's going to make a lot of plays for us for sure.
All right, there's DJ Epps checking in.
Yeah, the diversity of football. We just heard from Kamari Wilson, who was highly, highly recruited out of high school or prep school. 4-star kid, could have gone anywhere, started at Florida. Epps was a walk-on.
Opposite end.
Yeah, and we talked. There's several of those that had to start. John Nider, we talked. The other receiver, another receiver for West Virginia, started as a walk-on. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter what path you take. If you find yourself at the same level. So, the diversity that he has displayed. But it took him a while at Troy to find his groove. Wasn't until last year, his 4th year in the system, that all of a sudden he put together a really nice statistical season.
And it was kind of more towards even the end of the season.
Yeah.
It wasn't even right away in terms of the touchdown production. He ends up with 5 last year, led the team in receptions as well. So you're right. I think that was kind of his breakout moment of once he got settled. He talked a little bit about that, Greg, that you know how this is. You come in to start college as a walk-on, and you really have to grind it to get noticed and get in there and get your reps. And he just kept coming and coming and coming, and then finally did enough work, and that athleticism showed through, and he broke through last year. And he's a guy that when you watch him out there, unless you knew that story, when you watch him out there, you would have no idea that's where he came from.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks like a big-time player out there with his escapability and shakeability, ability to catch it. So, I'm with you. He's an important part of this offense.
Classic-looking slot, too. I mean, we talked about West Virginia's bringing some of their wideouts and bigger guys like Jaden Bray, and occasionally bringing him inside and playing him at slot. Well, that's not Epps. I mean, Epps is, they list him at 5'10", 185, but I'm not certain he's close to 185. That's after a few good meals. But he's the classic little slot that you just get him the ball on it, just a short route, and let him make plays in space because he's really hard to bring down.
He'll probably run it a few times too, right? Rich loves to run those slot guys as well.
Yep.
So if you want to just get the ball in his hands any way you can. And that's what's fun to watch here is you've got, I think, some weapons. And if Hawkins is the guy when he's in with his running ability and having to key on that, and you get it flowing one way and you flip it back to Epps coming the other, you could see where you got a chance here to move the sticks.
Yeah. You didn't get a chance to ask DJ yesterday, but there's a heavy West Virginia presence on that Troy staff.
Sure.
Jared Parker, their head coach, obviously was here and for a number of years in the Neil Brown era. Was Neil, right?
Yeah, it was.
And he was a great guy, but there are others assistants from that staff as well. So, the heavy
Sean Reagan, former quarterback coach here.
Exactly.
Right? One of them.
Dante Wright, defensive coordinator down there. So, now they send one back West Virginia's way.
All right, final break to take. When we come back, odds and ends to catch up on, and we'll get into your text next on the CityNet Statewide Sportsline.
The WVU Center for Reproductive Medicine is here to help your family grow. 1 in 8 couples has difficulty getting pregnant or maintaining a pregnancy. Our providers are prepared to offer the best in care and comfort with customized treatment plans. Our state-of-the-art facility on Pineview Drive offers a private and convenient location near Ruby Memorial Hospital. To learn more, visit wvumedicine.org/CRM.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
It's good to have options for your family or employees. Rooted in your community since 1979, the health plan is your trusted partner. Get flexible coverage, exceptional support, and competitive rates.
The health plan, we are here for you.
When was the last time you checked your home's fire safety? From working smoke alarms and clear escape routes to safe heating in the winter, small checks make a big difference. The West Virginia State Fire Marshal's Office has launched a quick, easy home safety survey to help you spot simple fixes around your house before emergency strikes. Take just 5 minutes today to keep your family safe. Visit firemarshal.wv.gov to complete your home safety survey. A message from the West Virginia State Fire Marshal.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discover tailored suits you'll only find in-store at Daniel's.
Of course, the LVA was brought into my life because I had a severe heart attack in November of 2024. And then I entered into congestive heart failure.
Where he was in the course, we really had to go towards an LVAD.
At that point, I was committed. At that point, I wanted to get better, and I wanted to see what this machine was going to do for me.
With this therapy, he's thriving, doing well. And not only is he living, he's thriving.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world!
Final few minutes sitting at Statewide Sportsline. Brad and Greg with you. I said earlier, Greg, if you didn't already feel like we were back, like summer's over, here we go, we're going, right? Kids moving back into town. School starts next week, I think, for most folks around the state. Certainly here in Morgantown it does. WVU women's soccer getting underway here in just a few minutes. Here's the other thing you've got. Did you look at the NFL schedule tonight? Like, here we go. 6 games, 6 exhibition games tonight, including you. You're conflicted right out of the gate. Your Packers and Steelers facing off against each other. How dialed in are you on preseason?
Well, I won't say not nearly as much as the regular season, but I watched some of the Hall of Fame game, though there was no rooting interest in that last week. I mean, it's first of all, it's football. Then it's NFL football, which I really like as well. And then start to bring in teams that I follow, which these are the two at the top of the list. Probably Pittsburgh a little bit more, but this is a hard one.
I won't say I like preseason more than the regular season, but I do like preseason. Two things. You're right. Football's back, so like put it on the TV. I want to watch it. But I do like these preseason because we get some of the college players that we've watched and paid attention to. Certainly when it's a Mountaineer in the game, you love that. But Absolutely. I think even when those other guys get in, it's names you've heard that you've been following here for a couple years. So I kind of like the preseason. I know other people say I'm not watching until it gets real. I like this.
Yeah,
I'm in.
I do as well. And I just like football, and this is an opportunity to watch. And you don't give many of those chances.
Agreed.
So it should be fun tonight. I mean, if you're out there looking to watch, Aaron Rodgers for 4 quarters, that's not happen if you're a Steeler fan. Or Jordan Love on the other side of things, but
Drew Aller, who we've seen as a Mountaineer, we've had to deal with him before, so we'll watch.
And
watch
this is
him.
a good point. I mean, Zach Frazier, you'd think he gets a series or two as a starter, but Doug Nestor probably plays a whole lot for the Steelers, and he's one of those guys who's been right on the edge of making that active roster in recent years. This is probably a year that he's got to push his way through and move up to the active roster. And Doug's a great kid, and I'd love to see him make it. But games like this will help cement him if he's able to make an active roster.
That's a good point. More for your watching pleasure tonight. This is a fun one. I love this one. The Field of Dreams Major League Baseball game is this evening. Phillies and Twins squaring off from Dyersville at that stadium they've built there. We were talking before the show, Greg, they've been using that more. It's not just this Major League Baseball game that's being played there. University of Iowa and Kansas played a game there earlier this year. The Iowa Cubs and St. Paul Saints, minor league AAA teams for the Twins, and the Cubs played here within the last week. I forget which day it was, but here in the last week. But tonight it's the Field of Dreams game from Dyersville. I love this one. I'm in.
Shoeless Joe come out of the corn, that kind of stuff.
But that's part of the thing. Remember, the intros. Those guys come out of the corn. They'll have a special guest coming out of there. I'm all in. I'm all in on the cheesy Hollywood promotion of this.
Will this game bring tears to my eyes like the movie does?
I don't know how it doesn't bring tears to your eyes when you watch the movie. How does it not?
Yeah.
Not just you, anybody. How's it not? It's one of the all-time greats.
I'm not a person who gets into the stereotype of male-female thing, but I get made fun of when I say how emotional that makes me by my wife and daughter. I think it's a woman thing. They don't appreciate it.
Well, I'm with you on that one. So yeah, probably when they play the music, because they do the music. The music starts it. They'll do that tonight. So I'm in. I'm going to watch that. All right, couple texts before we get out of here. 304-TALK 304. Texter, do you all think the defense will surprise some people this year? Looking forward to the season, says the texter.
Well, I'll give you my opinion. I hope, but I'm concerned. I mean, I feel that the West Virginia's offense has got a chance to be pretty good and significantly better than last year. I mean, though the bar wasn't very high. I don't know about this defense. The safeties I talk highly of. Everything else I have questions on. Some more than others.
Linebackers might be okay, you think?
Yeah, you say, but I've said the corners worry me, the defensive front worries me,
agree.
Edge rushers worry me.
Agree.
Linebackers maybe less so than those. I think the safeties could be a strength, but I have concerns about this defense. I need them to show me, and I haven't seen them practice yet, and won't see them in a full-scale hitting situation more than likely until the first game.
The surprise will be interesting because I'm not sure there's a lot of people with high expectations on the unit, though, either. So if you're talking about that, I think they maybe do have a chance to do it. And remember last year, they were fairly good against the run. It was really the pass that got them. I mean, and I don't know that you went into last season saying they would be that good at times against the run. There were times when they weren't. When Utah lined up and Texas Tech lined up against the upper echelon of the league, they were not. But a lot of the rest of the league, they could handle the run. It was more once the ball got put up in the air. Another text says, good evening, guys. This is a question that could take an entire episode to answer, or maybe even a 3 guys episode to answer. It says, but what makes Trickett such a good line coach? Obviously experience, but what's the it that he has? Is it just something special and can't be copied? A 78-year-old man still full of fire and making men almost 60 years younger into animals. Impressive. Loves the show. It's a wonderful question.
There are 2 strengths that he has. First of all, there's the emotional side that he gets after it and makes you get after it, unlike most any coach.
With no choice. But it really is It's a rare skill set among a bunch of guys that have a skill set.
Yeah.
But his is like ultra.
Yeah, but some people can do that, but they push it so far that they lose the player, right? You go to drill sergeant, and not everybody can play for Trickett.
That's right.
But those that do can survive. But then also the other side that probably adds to that, he's incredibly technically sound. I mean, he wrote a book, not like CJ Run. He wrote a book on offensive line play that's used by the entire industry.
And it's still relevant, obviously.
Yes.
That hadn't changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's that combination of being technically really proficient and also having the emotional wherewithal.
The technical part, you're right, probably gets overlooked because he's such a character.
Yeah.
Right? Because that overrides, and you can see it and you hear it and you watch it, and his ability to pull you along and make you do exactly what he wants to do. But I think you're right. That's a good answer. It's a good text. It's a good answer by Coach Hunter. It's about as good as you can do that in a minute that you just did.
And then he's had some really good players that
that
helps.
Hurt either. That helps too. That helps too. That goes without saying.
Yeah.
All right, good effort tonight, everybody. Thank you for listening. Packed a lot into the show. We're back tomorrow. 6:06, we'll do it again. We'll wrap up the WVU women's soccer game. We'll look ahead to the football scrimmage. The first one comes up Saturday. We'll do it tomorrow. We'll talk to you then. See you. Enjoy your night.
From the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline is an exclusive production of the MetroNews Radio Network. All rights reserved.